Finalists for the Manhattan City Manager position met with the public Monday evening at the Flint Hills Discovery Center to introduce themselves to locals and discuss important issues. Jacob Wood, Jamie Miller, Jason Gage, and Danielle Dullen are the four finalists for the job. Wood is the current deputy city manager of Salina and says his experience there is very transferable to Manhattan because the two cities have similar issues.
It's interesting how similar the issues and problems that the city of Manhattan are going through today are the same that they were about 5 years ago, that we were dealing with low fund balances, kind of had a little bit of an economic decline. We really have had to come through a lot of the things that Manhattan is coming through right now, and there's a lot of opportunity here.
Jason Gage is the current city manager of Springfield, Missouri, and worked for 19 years in and around Salina, where he recognized his love for the region. He says he prefers living and working in a medium-sized community.
So I really have an affection for communities about this size, spending a lot of time in two of them. So I put all that together and thought, I think Manhattan might be a really good opportunity. It's a wonderful place, great people, it's very stable, great leadership, a huge future ahead of it.
The City Commission will meet with the four finalists throughout the day today to interview them more closely and also show them around the town. A fire broke out early on Monday morning at Ackert Hall on the campus of Kansas State. Manhattan Fire Department crews responded to the structure fire and were able to extinguish it within 10 minutes. Claflin Road was shut down for nearly an hour, but ultimately reopened with no issues. The fire was believed to have started by a light fixture. Crews reported no injuries or fatalities, but the building did experience quite a bit of smoke. Pottawatomie County on Monday approved a $1.9 million bid from Bridges Incorporated to replace the deteriorating Louisville Road Bridge. The road has been closed to traffic since May of 2023. Public Works Director Tim Eisenbarth had good things to say about the contractor.
I reached out to the Kansas Turnpike, their chief engineer and their head bridge engineer. I reached out to KDOT in District 1, 2, and 3, which is the top half of the state. And they all had used Bridges Inc. on previous projects within the last year or two, and they all gave good references for them.
The project is set to start in November with an estimated 5-month completion cycle. However, Eisenbarth said the window is open until August 1st of 2025, so the road is open before school starts that year. The county also opened bids on the Havensville Bridge project. The engineer estimate was over $960,000. There were 6 bids, with the lowest bid coming from Ackert Construction of around $770,000. Eisenbarth will review the bids and bring a recommendation back to the next commission meeting. Drivers heading into Riley from the east will need to start hitting the brakes a bit sooner. The Riley County Commission on Monday approved a request to lower the speed limit on Kansas Avenue east of Riley from 45 miles per hour to 30 miles per hour and place a flashing light there to alert drivers to slow down. The decrease will affect the stretch of Kansas Avenue between the town's eastern limit to the spot 500 feet east of Pheasant Ridge Road. That portion is a relatively straight, flat 2-lane paved road with narrow shoulders. The request came after the county conducted a speed study in the area where the Riley County Grade School and Riley East Park are within walking distance, and a neighbor reported to those doing the study that they had seen pedestrians walking along the road to and from the school and park. The solar-powered light could cost around $2,500, including installation. Putting up and relocating speed limit signs would cost less than $500. A Manhattan woman is being held in the Riley County Jail after being arrested Sunday night for distributing narcotics causing death. 59-year-old Penny Marie Webster was arrested in the 1100 block of Garden Way at 10 p.m. and is being held on a bond of $125,000. She was booked on an additional charge of distributing an unknown quantity of narcotics and is still being held in the jail as of Tuesday morning. An investigation remains ongoing into this case. The 10th annual Everybody Counts event is set to return later this summer. Organizer Deb Nuss explains how the event got formed 10 years ago.
This is our 10-year anniversary. This event started in 2014 in response to a report to the USD 383 Board of Education about the number of students in the school district who were self-reporting as homeless. And in 2014, that number was about 250 children.
The event will be held on Saturday, August 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon at the Douglas Recreation Center in the 900 block of Yuma Street. Nuss detailed what will be provided at the event.
We offer free health services. There are school and sports physicals available to children, but also if you're just an older adult that wants to talk to a doctor, you can have that opportunity. We do hearing checks, vision checks, blood pressure checks. Honey Mental Health Services is there if you want to have a mental health screening.
Last year's event saw record turnout, and this year will be the first time everybody counts will have sponsors for the event, such as Hy-Vee and Flint Hills Adibus. The Kansas Democratic delegation voted to endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for the presidential nomination on Monday. The delegation's vote was made at a meeting of the Kansas Democratic Party's DNC convention delegation, where Governor Laura Kelly also endorsed the vice president. This comes after President Joe Biden announced on Sunday via social media that he will not seek re-election. Harris said following the endorsement that she'll do everything in her power to unite the party, the nation, and also defeat former President Donald Trump and his, quote, extreme agenda. The Flint Hills Discovery Center will celebrate the history and culture of the American West. Day of the Cowboy will celebrate the national icon, history, and culture of the West from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. this Saturday at the Discovery Center. Event supervisor Jonathan Merce talks about the event's most popular attraction.
One of our more popular events that we have every year are the carriage rides, a buckboard. So by carriage, about 15 to 20 people can actually ride it at one time with live horses that will be going around downtown. Now, because we are always concerned about the safety of the animals and the heat of the day, the buckboard rides will be ending at 1 o'clock.
Officials say Mayor Pro Tem Karen McCullough will read a National Day of the Cowboy proclamation at 10:05. Mert spoke on some other events as well.
We partner with the K-State Rodeo Club, and they're going to have bull roping and some rodeo queens join us, so you can get pictures with the rodeo queens, and usually they bring photos so you can get autographs with the rodeo queens.
There will also be food vendors at this event, along with musical performances from Fiddler's Dream during the event. A Manhattan resident is dead following a rollover crash on Sunday on I-35 in Missouri. The crash occurred around 5 p.m. about 7 miles north of Eagleville, Missouri, near the Iowa border. A Kia Sorento was traveling north on the highway when it went off the west side of the road and into the median. The Kia then hit an emergency crossover, went airborne, and then hit the ground. The vehicle then rolled over multiple times before coming to a stop on its roof. 4 people were injured inside the vehicle at the time of the crash. 3, all from Minnesota, were seriously injured in the crash, while a 4th man identified as Victor B. Imet, 31 of Manhattan, ended up dying. The Riley County Fair is coming to town, bringing the lights and thrills of the carnival and saddling up for the rodeo. The fair runs from this Thursday, July 25th in Seco Park, till next Monday, the 29th. The event will feature a carnival by Wii Entertainment and the Kaw Valley Rodeo at Wells Arena. This year's fair will feature a scone baking contest and many exhibits featuring animals, plants, crops, and the arts, both fine and practical. The carnival starts at 6 p.m. on all 5 days. The Kaw Valley Rodeo, which takes place on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, starts at 8 p.m. Thursday's festivities include 4-H judging for poultry and sheep, as well as displays of fiber arts and clothing. The bake sale takes place at Potarth Hall. Various exhibits and judging on livestock, geology, plants, and entomology take place throughout the afternoon. Friday, we'll see 4-H projects in engineering and craftsmanship throughout the afternoon, like woodworking, rockets, and small engines. Saturday's events include dairy and beef exhibits, swine exhibits, as well as the judging of meat and dairy animals in Hurlburt Hall. Judges will decide on winners for the art and photography contest that morning. On Sunday, attendees can see swine judging. The scone baking contest will take place in Potarth Hall at 1 p.m. Contestants are to prepare half a dozen scones. Meanwhile, over in Hurlburt, the pedal tractor pull begins at 7 p.m. And then finally on Monday is the Fair Olympics, in which contestants participate in garden-themed races beginning at 10 a.m. That's followed by the Livestock Skillathon at 12:30. Then 4-H members will sell livestock that evening in Hurlburt. Potarth will close to the public at 7 p.m., but the carnival will continue until 10. More on the day's headlines can be found at our website, newsradiokman.com and themercury.com.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines. Bobby Witt Jr. fell a single short of the cycle. Salvador Perez and Hunter Renfroe also homered as the Royals dropped the Diamondbacks 10-4 last night, a 4th straight win for Kansas City. Witt tripled in the first inning, doubled in the third, and drilled a 3-run homer to deep left center center in the fourth to get the hardest parts of the cycle out of the way. He was hit by a pitch in the sixth inning and got another chance in the eighth, but was retired on a fly ball to right field. Same two teams to match up tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Alec Marsh getting the start for the Royals. Jordan Montgomery will go for the D-backs with coverage on News Radio KMAN getting underway at 6:30. On Friday, LeBron James will carry the U.S. flag, but first he carried the U.S. men's basketball team. James scored 20 for the U.S., while Joel Embiid added 15, Steph Curry 13, and Anthony Edwards 11, as the Americans dropped Germany in their final tune-up ahead of the Olympics. James was announced as the male flag bearer for the opening ceremonies in Paris Friday night, an honor bestowed upon him by fellow Olympians participating in this year's games. Former Oklahoma State quarterback Gunnar Gundy is making his way to the Sunflower State, signing on with Emporia State after his transfer from Ohio. Gundy was on the roster for the Pokes for 3 seasons, playing in 4 games in each of his last 2 years there under his father. One of those games against K-State in October of 2022, where he was seen by TV cameras shaking before taking a snap against the Wildcats. He transferred to Ohio after this past season, but re-entered the transfer portal shortly after his arrival there. Have a great day. I'm Troy Coverdale.